There we go. We're recording it just for the fact that we're going to take this video in the future here. We're going to load it up to our YouTube page, and there's like a playlist in there of all of these tax talks with Corrys. The idea is for us to learn from each other. And so the first thing I want to talk to you about is a little bit about the SBDC. Okay, the SBDC. If hopefully all of you already have worked with us at one point or another, we're a service that's offered at no charge. Everything is confidential. We offer help to entrepreneurs that are starting a business. We help those that are already in business. I've been with the SBDC now for 20 years, so I've helped people start businesses, and I've been with them through the life of their business all the way to the point to where they've closed their business. Either they sold it, the one I'm thinking of is they sold it. Others, though, at some point they may have to close it down because it's not surviving, it's not doing well. But we're here to help businesses throughout a whole lifespan of help when you need it, only when you need it. We don't stay on you and constantly try to figure out ways to help you. We're here to help you when you need help. The Pennsylvania SBDC, there are 15 centers across the state of Pennsylvania. So no matter where you're at, you can find us. And then also no matter where you're at in the country, there is an SBDC as well. So all of states, all of the U.S. territories have SBDCs. There's even some other countries that have SBDCs as well, because they basically took and copied and pasted it over in their area, which is really cool. So if you're not working with the SBDC, reach out to them because it's offered at no charge. It's paid for. Our overhead is paid for through grants from the federal government, through the Small Business Administration, the state government, which is DCED, as well as our particular university that we're located in. And then we find other little pockets of money to tap into as well. So we have lots of resources that we can help you out with. We just have to have that conversation with you to figure out what your need is. And then once we figure that out, then the resources are in the background and we use that to help you. So if you need some market research, industry research, things like that, we subscribe to some really good databases that we pull the reports when we share with you what we're able to share with you, so that you can learn more about your industry or your target market or marketing, things like that. So again, I'm assuming most of you probably already have talked to the SBDC if you're tapped into this training. So then let's move on, because we are limited on time. The way this training is going to work, in case some of you are brand new to this, is that this is a tax talk, right? And this is a Q&A. That's what we market it as. But the first 15 minutes, I talk about the SBDC, and then I cover a tax tip. And and it could be a lot of things out there, but almost everything comes back to taxes, like it or not, right? And so today I'm going to take a few minutes to talk to you about artificial intelligence. And then after I'm finished talking in about less than 15 minutes now, then we're going to open it up for questions and answers. You ask your question, I'll answer your question to the best of my ability based on the knowledge that I have. And so with that said, a little disclaimer that I just want to read to you really quickly here so that we're all on the same page. It says, any tax advice reflects our professional judgment based on our understanding of the facts provided to us and on current tax law. The SBDC is not responsible for misinformation, as this service is offered at no charge to entrepreneurs and business owners. So we just kind of throw that out there because we are talking taxes, but really anytime you work with the SBDC, you're not able to lay any claims on us because our service is offered to you at no charge. So Jayla Jones is saying that she can't hear me. Okay, she can hear me now. Okay, good. I was just getting ready to chat with her. Okay, so a little bit about artificial intelligence. And if you have not attended any AI trainings yet, you really need to start attending trainings. It is ever evolving. It is amazing. At first, when it started coming out, I was one of those people getting to be old school because I'm getting old, saying, no, I'm not going to get into that. That doesn't seem right. It seems weird. But let me tell you, I'm in love, and I have just dove right into AI. Um, and so with AI, someone's asking about a presentation. There's no literal, PowerPoint presentation. You should just be seeing me. If you don't see me, let me know in the chat. But you should just be seeing my, bald head. Okay. Um, and I don't do a presentation all the times when it comes to the first 15 minutes because I kind of talk, off the cuff. Okay. So there are lots of AI out there. Okay. A replay will be on YouTube. And so the ones I use the most, and I think that's where you should start at as well, is if you are a Google user, then jump on to Gemini and you'll be able to sign in. It'll sign you in probably automatically if you're already signed in on your phone or your computer. It'll sign you in automatically to Google Gemini. That is artificial intelligence. The other one, which is also really good and kind of really started the whole game, is ChatGPT. ChatGPT. So start out with those two, and as you would grow, then you can start looking at other AIs, because trust me, there are hundreds out there right now. Okay. I'm starting to work with Copilot some, trying it out now that I've got Google and ChatGPT down pat. Now I'm working on Copilot, and my goal is to say, does it give me as good of results as the other ones that I already know? Does it talk to me, as in like typing back to me? Does it talk to me like I am used to being talked to? So there's a lot of research that goes into trying these different ones. Now, again, I'm not sure how many of you have used AI, but if you've ever went to to a search engine like Google or Yahoo, okay, or Microsoft Live, something like that, then you can type something into a search box and it comes back with a result, and there's a bunch of links there, and you have to click on those links and you have to start reading what shows up on your page, then trying to find the answer. And sometimes you click on links and you don't find the answer. It gives you information but not what you were looking for. This is where AI becomes beautiful, in that you type your question into the box for AI, and then it responds to you by typing back to you, and it starts to, like, it talks to you like you're a real person, which by the way you are, right? But it's not, but it talks to you like you're a real person, and you can carry on a conversation in that same chat, and that chat, and that AI will remember what you were saying to it and what you have said to it, and the conversation builds on that. So as you ask it a question, it gives you an answer. Maybe it's not everything that you're looking for, or maybe you need something clarified that it gave you as an answer. So you just type right back to it in that same conversation, and like, what did you mean about this? And then it responds back to you, and you can go back and forth, back and forth. And the cool thing is it even keeps your conversations, so that you can go back to those conversations the next day and you can continue the conversation with it, and it will remember what you talked about. You can delete conversations as well. Now, something I do want to talk about is free versus paid AI. So both of those, any of these, you can use them for free, but there are more benefits if you pay for it. So I would suggest just start out with the free first. Gemini, I think I just have the free one for Gemini. Now I think somehow I got into like a test thing for the Google Workspace, so maybe I'm getting a higher level. I'm not sure, but I know I don't pay anything. And then ChatGPT, we do pay for that through the SBDC, and therefore I have more options. And as you grow, okay, in using AI and attending AI webinars and taking notes if something pops up that was really interesting, then you learn how to create what they call GPTs. Now in ChatGPT, it's literally called a GPT. In Google, it's called a gem because it's called Gemini, so it's called a gem, and this is where you set this up as a persona. Okay, you tell um, AI who he or she is. Okay, give it a boy or girl if you want, who he or she is, and how he or she's supposed to think. Okay, so in my personal one, I created two gems because I have an accounting background. I created a persona for an accountant, and then another one I created a persona for a Christian, and we have Christian related conversations. I'm always questioning everything out there in the world, so I go to AI for all my questions and answers now. And then in my chat GPT, I created another business consultant called Zoe. That's her name. And then I created a couple other ones in there as well, dealing with business plans and things like that. And so, depending on what my project is or what my question is for the time being, will depend on which persona I go to. But I wouldn't worry about that right now. I'm just kind of, saying, hey, look at all of this that's out there. And you're constantly learning more when you attend these free webinars that you can find out there. If you're using the free version and if you can't create a persona, that and these personas are always there then, right? So I can always go to this accountant persona and it's always there. Now, if you don't create those personas and you just chat with AI, if you even start that conversation off with AI and say, you are a business owner, you own a restaurant in Clearfield, Pennsylvania. You sell American down home family dinners. You're open for breakfast, lunch, and supper. Okay, the more you give it, and you don't even have to do it all at one time. You can do it throughout your conversation. You can keep giving it more and more, and it just builds on it and builds on it and builds on it. And you can have that conversation back and forth with AI. Someone typed in here, if you have Google Workspace, you have the pro version of Gemini. Okay, and I'm not sure if I have the pro version or not. Let me see something here for you all. Or what am I on time here? Okay, I'm almost out of time, so let me hurry up here. Share. Let's share my whole screen right there. Share. And let me get rid of that. Okay, so you can see my whole screen. Okay, one thing is I don't know if you know how to create apps. This was part of playing with AI that I figured out how to create an app. So normally when you go to, hold on, sorry a minute. You got to move stuff out of the way here. Normally when you go to the internet, you can come up here to open up a new window and you can go to Gemini. You can see mine came up automatically, gemini.google. And this is where you start chatting with AI. Okay, so you see here I have two gems, and then down through here there's all kinds of chats that I've had in the past. Okay, so we're not going to concentrate on all those, but your recent conversations, I'm kind of looking really quickly what's in here that you shouldn't see, but it doesn't look like there's anything in here you shouldn't see. Okay, so when you have a conversation, say this USB hubs brand versus generic. So it stayed in there. I don't know how long ago it was I had this conversation. I don't know if it tells me here as I'm moving stuff around my screen. No. So, but in this conversation, I said, are all USB hubs made the same or should I buy a brand name? So USB hub is like something that you plug into your computer into one USB and it's a little box that has like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different little USB holes. Okay. So I was trying to do some research on USB hubs because a lot of times we buy cheap, right? But they don't work as good. So I had a conversation with it and it gave me a response, and you see how it types the response back to me in sentence form. Okay. What it is doing is going out into the internet and it's doing all the searching for us. You'll even notice these links here. Okay. So this sentence here is coming directly from Anchor, which is a brand name. This is coming from HP. This one's coming from Cool Blue. So now that one there is not like a name I recognize, right? So, but you can use this information to say, is it pulling me good information or is it not so good? And if you read something and you're like, this just doesn't make sense, it's either one, you don't understand it, or two, it is giving you false information. So I didn't have a further conversation with it. I see. That's why I kept scrolling down. But if I had any questions about anything up above here, I could just respond to it here. Like, well, I'm not going to worry about it right now, but asking a question here to respond to this, and then it'll respond back. Okay. So one other thing I want to show you, and then I'm going to stop. Okay, because we could go on for a long time about AI. If you are a strong user and you're going to be using like Gemini or Chat GPT, which is this icon down here at the bottom, if you're going to be using these a lot and you don't want to have a whole bunch of shortcuts going across the top of your screen like I do across here, okay, then what you can do, let's see if I remember how to do it, is you bring up the website. So let's go to new chat. You bring up the website, any website really, and you go to the three dots. And then you come down here to right here. I had to scroll down some. Okay, maybe why am I not seeing it here? I do apologize. I just thought it was important. Like I said, I talk off the cuff when I'm doing this. Open in Gemini, find and edit. Okay, I'm not sure. Maybe it's because I already have it set up down here. Let's go to Google. Google. Apologize. A little longer than I wanted to take here. I dove into this. Right there. I thought it was under cast, save, and share. Install page as app. So if I were to click on install page as app, I can then give it a name, and then I can pin it to my screen, to my taskbar is what that's called at the bottom of your screen. It's called the taskbar. So if I click install pages app, and then I can have a name. So it's just Google, right? Google search, and I click install. And so now the window changed and it is open. You can see the little icon down here. Now I need to right click it and I need to click pin to taskbar so that it stays there even when I X out of it. Okay. If I were to X out of it, then it's going to go like into this menu up here or something, right? So I want to keep it at the bottom of my screen because I click on it all the time. So it created an app, but it's a live app. It's going to the internet, but it's just permanently on your computer. Of course, you can delete it later on if you want to, and that's what I will do with this one. Okay. So I hope that I a little bit let me see here, stop share. There we go. I hope that I gave you a little bit about AI. I know some of you are probably power users. Others of you are just playing with it a little bit, and some of you haven't even tried it yet. By the way, install it on your phone too. Okay, I have both of those on my phone, and so even when I'm at home or in between meetings or something, if I have a question about something, I jump onto AI and I start searching, having a conversation with AI. So just get used to doing it. It's not going away. It is the way of the world. If you're kicking back, as I started kicking back at the beginning, it's just because we're kind of stuck in our way, stuck in tradition. However, just think about those that are 80, 90 years old and how life has changed for them. And it happens. We got to go with the times. Otherwise, we get stuck in a rut. Okay. So I'm going to stop there and open this up for Q&A. Hopefully you have thought of some questions. You can put your questions in the chat, or you can put your questions in the Q&A section of Zoom that we are using. And also here in just a second, I'm going to open up to allow you to talk as well in case you want to talk. If you don't have a microphone or you don't have any questions, just let me know that as well. So we're going to start out with Tammy. I have allowed you to talk, I believe. So if you would like to unmute yourself and ask a question, go right ahead.
Thank you, but I don't have any questions.
Okay, I'll go ahead and mute you, and then if you do, just let me know.
Thank you.
Okay, let's go with Rosemary. Are you there, Rosemary? Any questions? And again, use the chat, use the Q&A as you so desire. Okay, let's try Melanie. How you doing, Melanie? Looks like Rosemary's microphone is on. Do you have a question, Rosemary? Nope. Okay. I'm going to come down here to the chat. I do see a question here. Kimberly is saying, I'm hearing that the tax guidelines are changing and having be a holding company will be more beneficial for us as business owners due to the deductions we can claim. Can you explain? Oh, okay. And yeah, look at that. I did fail to do that. And I did that last time as well. Are you going to show us how to use AI to organize our taxes? Good job. Thank you. You should just take over for me if you wouldn't mind. So let's touch upon your second one. So what I'm talking about, the way we can bring AI into the tax realm is to ask it questions, research. Okay. What is the Pennsylvania state income tax rate? What's going on with this no tax on tips or no tax on overtime or no tax on social security benefits? And instead of listening to the news out there and hearing a bunch of like filler stuff that you got to kind of really pay attention because they just talk about everything, or instead of going to like a news station where one news station talks about how bad something is while the other one says how good it is. I hate the news, by the way, in case you can't tell yet. You can go to AI, ask the question, no politics involved, and no personality involved. They just give it to you from what they can find. Now, as for your tax return, I don't expect you to be doing your own tax return as a business. I expect you to be outsourcing it. And, right now I haven't dove into the idea of using AI to do your bookkeeping for you. I think I would be careful about that. And here is a warning. Especially if you're using the free side of AI, what you do type in there, the AI system is using it for learning purposes to help you and everybody else out there in the world as well. So it learns from your information. So you want to be careful what you actually put into AI, nothing really highly confidential. If you have a paid version, from my understanding of the paid version, you can block out all learning so the system doesn't learn. You pull from all of its knowledge, but it doesn't take your information and send it out into the world. Okay, so that's a huge benefit to having the paid side of it. Okay, so if you have more specific questions about organizing your taxes, but the key to that was, and I do it all the time, is asking questions about the taxes that are going on. And let's say you're a business and you're doing Facebook posts. You can have AI help create you social media posts as well. Okay. So your other question here is hearing that tax guidelines are changing and having a holding company would be more beneficial. I gotta say, I'm not so sure I know anything about that. I haven't read on that, so I'm probably maybe missing something. And with any updated tax programs, there's just so much information that gets fed out there that we just have to keep reading, studying it. So I'm not sure what we're talking about there to be able to answer that. The next thing you said here is I'm new to doing business taxes. Roughly how much should it cost to have someone do an upstart business with standard business deductions? So if you're talking about like getting your tax return done at the end of the year, then it will of course depend on geography and are you in the city, are you out in the country, things like that. And so if you are, say, an LLC sole proprietorship, that means you're an LLC owned by one person, then I would say depending on how organized you are, things like that. I mean, hopefully you're using a bookkeeping system like QuickBooks or something like that. Oh, register in Delaware. I haven't had a company register in Delaware for a long time. And so, you know, you're probably looking $200 to $500 is a big range, I know, but there's a lot that depends on that. You're in Pittsburgh, so you're in the city, so probably maybe a little more expensive in the city. Registered in Delaware, I gotta admit, I'm not experienced on that, but I do believe you have to do like a Delaware tax return, so that's going to up the cost as well. Because now you're here in Pennsylvania, you're doing something over there in Delaware as well. As a side note, I would ask, what's the true benefit of being in Delaware, registered in Delaware, and maybe you want to change that back to Pennsylvania. There used to be some real benefit to it, but I think that benefit's kind of gone away now. But again, I hope you're using QuickBooks or something as well, some sort of bookkeeping system for all of you, of course. And when I'm answering these questions for all of you to try to learn from, right? When you're using a bookkeeping system, whether it be a spreadsheet that is well built, okay, or whether it is QuickBooks or Xero, which is Xero, or Patriot software, there's a whole bunch of them out there. And work with your local business consultant is what I always say. Go to your local business consultant, ask them what they suggest. If they don't know the answers, then we reach out to other business consultants because we're all confidential within each other. So we find the answer for you. But if you don't have a system yet, you really need to get one set up, and that'll track your income, that'll track your expenses, and then it spits out reports to give to your accountant that summarizes all of that data you put in for the year. And for all of you looking for training, be sure to go to the SBDC's website and look up the different trainings that are available. Almost all of them are webinar and almost all of them are free. I'm not trying to advertise anything. I'm just telling you because it's helpful to you. I know I will be teaching a major series on QuickBooks coming up in January and February. It'll be coming. It's not out there on our website yet or on the PASBDC's website yet, but it'll be out here very soon. So you'll want to dive into this training that we're going to offer. There will be a fee for it because there's a lot of material available that I'm going to be sharing with you. So there will be a charge for it, but I'm just telling you, you will gain so much knowledge from it. Okay. So I know I talked a lot, and you all can use the chat and the Q&A while I'm talking. Okay. The next one here I see in the Q&A is, you mentioned being able to create an app. Is that what you meant when you showed us how to pin it to the taskbar? Yes. That's what, not an app for your cell phone, okay, but rather an app that stays at the bottom of your screen. I think that's what they called that whenever we went to the drop-down menu. There was that you're creating an app. I didn't know anything about that until probably about a month ago, and I just happened to be doing some research. How can I get this to stay down here? And I found it. I was like, this is really cool. So yes, that's what I was talking about. Okay. Let me see here. I'm going to click ask to unmute for everybody. That way you all have a chance to unmute yourself if you want and ask your question. If somebody talks over the other, one of us will be quiet, right? Okay. So I think I marked everyone as to be able to ask a question. Here I see. Okay. Any other questions? This is a smaller group today. I kind of figured it was going to be because we had to reschedule it from 2 weeks ago, I believe. So we do apologize for that. I always hate rescheduling things, and that kind of messes it up. As a side note, this same link that you got into this one will work for November and December as well. And then I do think a new link comes out in January, and then that link works for every month, Tax Talk with Corry, through the end of the year. Okay, Jayla. There you go. How are you doing, Jayla?
Hi, good. How are you?
Doing real good. What's your question today?
Quickly, you mentioned that ChatGPT has a similar persona as gems, and I was in my ChatGPT. Is that something you have to be in the paid version for, or does the free version also allow you to use the GPT that you mentioned?
Yeah, I think you have to pay for that. I think you have to pay for Chat GPT in order to be able to create these GPT personas.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now, I do think both of them are very comparable. I mean, they all are going to have this one thing better than the other, but then on the other side, the other company has something better than the other. But amazingly, Gemini and Chat GPT are like right up there towards the top of how good they are. I use them both on a regular, like literally every day. I use them both, and I can't say, excuse me, I can't say that I have one that I like better than the other. I love Google. Google as a whole, I love, but I use Chat GPT because it's it's paid for from the SBDC, and so I use it just for business or mostly just for business, right? And then like all of my consulting work that I do, and then Gemini I use like for the personal stuff. So either one I think is perfectly fine for you to use. Okay, I think I have a question here. Great. Okay, Holly is saying, for the question about how much business taxes cost, my partnership LLC tax return was $950, but then the accountant did my and my husband's personal return for free since he already had our info. So good, some input from somebody else. That is amazing. I love that, Holly. Thank you. Partnership tax returns are definitely more expensive. Now, initially when I saw the $950, I thought, whoa, that's pretty expensive. But then you put in there that he did your personal tax returns for free. So really you could lower that partnership return price down some because the personal is built into it, if you want to say. That's how I see it, at least. And of course, it does depend on the geographic region as well. So where I'm at and where Holly's at and the rest of you are at is going to make a big difference also. So there, everyone has a good idea about that. Thank you. Anyone else have any questions? Use the chat, use the Q&A. There's a raise your hand thing because I thought I unmuted everyone, but it's saying to ask to unmute again. So feel free to raise your hand if you have further questions. So while I'm waiting for a question, oh, it looks like Rosemary, maybe, or Rosemary, you unmuted? You have a question? Hi, Holly, how are you doing? Do you have a question?
A little question. Hi, how you doing?
Very good.
So I do a website business and it just orders kind of just trickle in back and forth, but there's this really big vendor like a market, a big for my industry in Houston, and it just finished. It's an October, November thing. And I keep watching like all the little clips, and I'm like, that would be a great way for me to get a lot more wholesale orders instead of, just trickling customers if I can get in actual stores. Because this is it's a big market event where storekeepers go to find stuff to put in their stores. So it's going to be at least like $5,000 for me to get to Houston to set everything up, hotels, vendor fees, and things like that. So I need to raise capital. So I kind of tuned out a little bit because I was small beans, but what would be your suggestion to raise capital for this kind of move?
Okay. So if I understand correctly, you need to raise some capital in order to pay to go to this show. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay. So in that case there, there could be possibly in your areas, there could be some grant money. Maybe not, maybe not that much, but there might be some sort of grant money that you could apply for. There is also some low interest loans that you could apply for. So that's a possibility as well. And then there is other options online. I'm not a pro at those. My coworker knows more about them than I do. But it's like GoFundMe. We heard about, we all know about GoFundMe. And there's these other sites out there as well that kind of does the same thing. And for raising X number of dollars, you give each person something back in return. And so there's those different options as well. And again, I'm kind of talking ignorant on it. I know it's out there. If you're not sure about it, and if nobody puts it in the chat or something, then I can get you connected with my coworker who knows more about these sites. But it's something. So what it is, it's crowdfunding, I guess is the word I'm looking for. It's crowdfunding.
Yeah, I was thinking about like the SBA loans, like because that was really pushed on for a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
things like that.
There are low interest loans out there, and
Okay.
if you're a majority woman-owned business, or if you're a small business with less than 10 employees, or if you are in a rurally geographic area, or if you're disabled, or if you fit into certain demographics, then there are some low interest loans that you could be eligible for through a program called the SSBCI program. And so if you want more information on these low interest loans, I always suggest that you start out talking to your local business consultant. But if you can't get in touch with that person, you can always reach out to me. And let me really quickly get you the PASBDC or the SSBCI website that I was just mentioning. I'm going to copy it and paste it into our chat for all of you. So feel free to take a look at that, and then there should be right on that page. There should be a place where you can click on to request help.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Rosemary wrote in here. Yeti is on a basic otter plan with 30-minute meetings. To record longer meetings, upgrade to pro. So yeah, Otter, I think that's what I have on my phone that I was just trying. Let me see here. I have it right on, I have it right on my home screen. I was trying Otter, and Otter allows me to record meetings, whether it be phone calls, or I think I'm still learning. I just really just downloaded it now. I think you only do get something like 3, maybe a month, or 3 something. I reached my limit of 3. Okay. And so I think it records phone calls or something, and it can record video calls, I believe, and then it can give you the transcript. So what I did, kind of going down that path there, and this, so how does this fit into taxes? Okay. Well, when you have meetings with people, when you have meetings with your accountant or something, right? So my phone is an Android phone, and I can record a phone conversation. It's just part of my phone app. I can record that phone conversation, and then I can take that phone conversation. And of course, you can only record it with permission. You got to tell the other person, because when you click record, it will count down, and then it'll say this phone call is being recorded. And so I record it, then I upload it into the paid version of AI. So that's a closed system. And I tell it to give me a transcription, or to transcribe this attachment that I upload, which is the audio file, and then it transcribes it for me, and then I can ask it to summarize it for me. So it takes all of our questions, gets rid of all the garbage, because a lot of what comes out of my mouth is worthless, right? And so it gets rid of that, and it summarizes it for you in a nice format that's easy to read. I don't do it with everybody. I do it with certain people and such, and I of course have to ask for permission to do so. So this is how great technology is getting to be. If you're like me, your noggin doesn't remember as much anymore when you get off the phone, and so this is where recording these conversations and then having it have it summarized for us is really worth it. Okay, so Anne again, she missed the live portion of our training. Will there be a link to rewatch? Yes, there will be a link to rewatch. And my training, my first 15 minutes wasn't like in depth or anything. The SBDC offers a ton of different webinars, so definitely jump onto those webinars where it'll dive deeper into AI. I was just trying to tickle a little bit of it just to get those of you that haven't used it yet, to hopefully gain a little bit of interest in trying it. Okay, we still have about 20 minutes. So if you want to unmute yourself or raise your hand if you want to talk, or use the chat or use the Q&A, please do. While I'm waiting for something to come through, I do want to just briefly talk about bookkeeping systems. Very important for every small business, okay? If you get set up with the SSBCI program, they have a Excel spreadsheet that you can use for bookkeeping. It's offered at no charge. Our SBDC also has a spreadsheet, a different spreadsheet, but still a bookkeeping spreadsheet that we can share with you at no charge. And I'll put my email address in here in case you have any further questions, or if you email me and say, hey, can you send me that spreadsheet you were just talking about? Sure, send an email to me. I won't do it today. I'm on the road today traveling actually. So, but if you want a software that lays things out in a much prettier layout than any spreadsheet is going to do, even though I love my spreadsheet, and if other SBDCs have their own bookkeeping spreadsheet, they love it. But a software does look better. I gotta say that. So there are different ones out there. QuickBooks is the most popular one. There is QuickBooks Desktop. It's called the Enterprise version, and then there's QuickBooks Online. The Enterprise version is not popular anymore because it's a desktop software that's saved onto a computer, and just the way the world, everything is going online now. But the desktop version is very strong, and it definitely has certain points where it is stronger than even the most advanced QuickBooks Online. And that's really why Enterprise is still out there, is because it fills a void that QuickBooks Online just can't do. So then when we come over to QuickBooks Online, which probably works for almost all of you, there's something like 4 different levels. There's the least expensive, I think it's called the Essentials, and it works its way up to the 4th level, which is Advanced. So QuickBooks Advanced. I think a lot of small businesses can start out with one of the bottom 2, either the smallest one or the next step up. And a couple of things that will help decide which one to go with is how many users, how many people do you need in QuickBooks? How many different user names, right, for employees? So if you need just one, then Essentials is where you would start at, the lowest one. But if you need more than one, I think up to 3, then you got to bump up to the next level. Or if you want 5, then you got to bump up to the next one, okay? But 1 or 3 is the bottom 2. And then also, if you have inventory and you're going to use inventory within QuickBooks, I mean, if you're going to do inventory over here in another software like Excel, then you don't need inventory in QuickBooks. But if you're going to use inventory in QuickBooks, then you got to bump up, I do believe, to the 3rd level, which is, they say, the most popular one. I think it could just be a marketing ploy to say, yeah, this is the one we want you to buy. Okay. So depending on what your needs is, and an accountant or your accountant, yes, your accountant can help you figure this out, but also so can your business consultant, okay? If your business consultant can't help you out, then they know a couple of different QuickBooks consultants across the state of Pennsylvania that they will refer you over to, me being one of them. So I get clients that are not my clients from hours away. We do Zoom meetings, okay? Or team meetings. So, again, I think, so if you start at one of the lower 2, I think that would be better. I kind of pause there and stuttered because there's a question. QBA raised their prices because they say AI will do magical things for people. Yeah, so QuickBooks, regrettably and sadly, have been increasing their prices. I've been saying that I think they're pricing themselves out of the market because there are other competitors out there as well that are jumping on board, and they are literally taking away what we would call market share from QuickBooks because their prices are lower, but their system is basically just as good. So QuickBooks got to be careful with their pricing yes, they do have AI built into it. I've only started tickling that a little bit and working with that a little. It's hard enough in my mind to train you all just on the basics of QuickBooks and getting you used to the basics of QuickBooks than to have this AI system out there doing some of this other stuff. So, but with that said, AI is changing the world, very quickly, and it is something that is going to become more of every software we use. Okay. And every website we even go to, okay, is going to be built on AI more and more. So we'll get used to it. It just takes time. As for the raised prices, if it gets too out of hand and you're not happy with it, talk to a business consultant about what other options are available to me. Again, I mentioned Xero, Xero, if you want to check it out. Patriot Software is actually made over in Ohio, which is really cool. And then there's one that's made out west. It is called, let me see here, because I have it, I think, is a shortcut. It's called PC Mars. And the website is PC, like a computer, personal computer, PCMars.com. And let me go ahead and share my screen. I'm looking for questions. If any of you have questions, feel free to put this up here, okay? So there, I just shared my screen with you. Okay, so with this PC Mars, you will see that it says farm accounting software. So you're thinking to yourself, oh no, I'm not in the agriculture industry. I don't need this. And I understand. Don't turn me off yet. Okay. PC Mars was made for farmers, but because of its popularity, it did create one for all businesses as well. Now it's been a little while since I've been on here. They do have a free part to it, but with anything free, there are limitations to it. And then as you move up, then it becomes, then you have to start paying for it. Let me click on the software pricing here. So $80 per year per set of books. It'll tell you what it can do. You need to look into it to decide, is this going to fit for me? And then you can go into the PCR Mars Plus, which does more stuff, okay? Inventory, enterprise allocation. If you want payroll, you got to pay extra for any software for payroll. Even in QuickBooks, it's an extra charge. Accounts payables, accounts receivables. Now, what I've said with people with this, it's been a while since I've talked about PC Mars, is even if you add all these up, okay, that you're paying per year, it's still like way cheaper than QuickBooks, okay? But I'm not seeing where there is where the version is here for regular businesses, but it is here. There is a version for regular businesses is what I was trying to get at. Okay. So it's not just for the agriculture industry. Okay. And then there are other ones out there too. If I knew I was going to talk about this, I would have like came up with a list, at least with a couple more on there that I would suggest. Okay. I kind of like, of course I like QuickBooks, and that is what I use in my own small business. But I also like, I like the idea of Patriot Software. It is online, just like QuickBooks, but it looks like the old style QuickBooks for those that are like kind of stuck in their ways. It has a version that looks more like the desktop version, and it's made in Ohio. So I love that. And then this other one, PC Mars, is just made at, out west of the United States here. So I like that as well. Always looking for US companies to be able to support them if possible. Any other questions? Oops. Otherwise, you're going to listen to me talk some more. Got like 10 minutes to go. Okay, so I'm going to keep looking here. Let's talk a little more about financing, okay? So you have your regular commercial bank loan, right? And then you have these low interest loans that we talked about. There can be low interest loans that are either local to where you're at, okay, in the town, maybe from your chamber of commerce or your county, the county that you're in. Most counties have what we call an EDC, an Economic Development Corporation. I'm actually sitting in Clearfield County right now, right at Clearly Ahead, which is an economic development organization. And so they have low interest loans for the county for certain types of businesses. And then on a more regional basis, maybe like multiple counties, there be an organization taking care of some local loans that way. And then you get to the state level, in which the state has certain types of low interest loans for certain types of businesses. And then at the federal level, there can be some federal monies as well that are at the low interest rate. So you're best to talk to an SBDC consultant, because outside of my territory, I don't know all the details. And I actually only consult in 2 counties of my SBDC's territory. So I know my 2 counties pretty well, but I don't know all of our counties really well. Okay. I'd have to do some more, I'd have to talk to my coworkers. Okay. So talk to your local SBDC consultant about these low interest loans or any other loan programs. And then from a grant standpoint, so if you have a disability, doesn't necessarily mean that you're receiving a disability check, but you have a disability. Okay. Now, normally when I ask people, do you have a disability? They're like, well, if you call this, they're just joking around, right? But if you have a disability, and I just learned recently that that being a diabetic, and I pardon my ignorance on this. There's different levels of being diabetic. And so maybe it's based on that or something. I don't know the details. I don't dive into that part of it, but there is a grant through the Office of Vocational Rehabilitation. For short, we call it OVR. And this is federal monies that are granted out, free money that's granted out to small businesses that have a disability. So talk to your local SBDC consultant so that they can, work with you and work with that organization in your area. Also, if you are in the art industry, now, art does not necessarily mean like fine arts like painting or drawing. Okay. Arts can also be in the realm of marketing, being a marketing consultant or something, or architecture is also fine art. So just, being an architect, being an architect and going out and doing buildings and such. There's different, again, I'm talking off the cuff. But there's different types of businesses that qualify under this arts category. So there is a $2,000 grant. And I think I heard rumor that it might be going up as well. Now, if you already obtained that $2,000 grant, I do believe that you're not eligible for it for a year or something like that. So you'd have to look into that. But if you've never received it, then you really want to talk to your SBDC consultant about this art grant, and say, I think because this kind of business I am, I think I fit into this. Can you help me verify? And probably what they'll do is give you the guidelines and give you a contact person's name to reach out to them. So there's a couple of different grants. There's other competitions out there that are specifically for women or specifically for other minorities. And so a lot of times with grants, you have to, with these competitions, you have to like record a video and you have to submit the video, and then they choose you from other videos as to whether you would win this free money, this grant money. Okay. But definitely look into them. What I would suggest, if you start looking for these kind of competitions out there, probably best to, whenever you find one, to have a third party look at it, like your SBDC consultant, to look into it more and give you their professional opinion, whether it looks like it's a legitimate competition or grant program to apply for, because there is not all of this free money out there. Okay. There's a reason why there are more employees in this world than employers, which are businesses, right? Because there's not a crazy amount of free money out there. Otherwise, you'd have way more employers or way more businesses than you do employees. Okay. Let me see. I have a question here. Says, I use my credit card for a lot of purchases. I went through and made sure the purchases were properly categorized. Is there a way for me to copy my spending or transfer it to QuickBooks electronically to make filing taxes a more seamless process? So yes, possibly, okay, without knowing more, but going off of what you're telling me, yes, QuickBooks Online has a means to be able to import information into QuickBooks, into the software. It even gives you directions, and there's videos that you can watch that will tell you what type of format it needs to be in. So you might have to do some reformatting to your spreadsheet. And then you might have to do a save as and save it as a CSV. That's what they suggest, converts it over easy, the best. And so as long as we get it in its proper format, then yes, a lot of times this information can be imported. Who gives the art grants? It's something like the Pennsylvania something of the Arts Council. Okay, I do apologize. Without looking it up, it's Pennsylvania something, I believe, Arts Council. But then from there, so that's at the state level. From there, they work with organizations throughout Pennsylvania. Okay, to accept the application locally and process it and accept it and give out the money. Now, I did hear that starting in 2026, though, it may change. And there, I think from what I heard, the Pennsylvania Art Council is going to pull away from all of the little organizations that were helping it, and they're going to do it all themselves. And they're going to, so you'll submit it all online to the Pennsylvania Arts Council, I believe, and they will process it and determine whether you're eligible and determine whether to approve it or not. And then they would send you the money probably electronically as well. But definitely worth something looking into for anyone that might fit into this art grant. And let me see if I can find, where am I at time wise? We're still good. Okay. Let me, something here real quick here. And of course, the website's being a little slow here. Oh, being really slow. I hope I'm okay for you, like talking to you here. So the grant is called the Creative Entrepreneur Accelerator. I'm looking for the website for you. Try this link right here. Just waiting for it to load up. While it's loading, let me see if there was any other question that I missed here. No. Nope, it's saying this site is not able to be reached. Okay, so what I would do, because for time factor, is go to the internet, okay, or go to AI and ask for information on the CEAP grant. I'm putting this in the chat right now. So do a search, something like CEAP grant in PA, in Pennsylvania. And state website's going to come up, you know, like pa.gov type of website. Go ahead and click on that and it'll tell you more about it. Again, there are local organizations right now that's distributing this money. So you might even want to type in CEAP grant in Pennsylvania for Lycoming County, wherever that's at, okay? And it may give you more information closer to your territory. Good question. Okay, so we are about out of time. If anyone else has another question, I'll give you another question. If not, I'm going to let you go. Hopefully you found this to be interesting. If this is your first time here, this is how this monthly, every month, normally on, I believe, what is it, the third Wednesday? Now, not this month. This month we had to reschedule it. But this is how we hold this every time. You know, a little tidbit at the beginning, and then we just open it up for questions and answers. So we try to keep it tax related, but at the same time, if it is at all just business related, hey, we can learn from these questions and answers. And so type your questions or write your questions down, save them for next month, because I'll be back here next month with you, and be prepared. I'll be prepared to try to answer your questions. So I missed the beginning. You have a paid class coming up. Okay, yes. So if you are using QuickBooks Online, whether you're a brand new person, never used it before, or whether you are someone that has been using it for a while, we are going to be diving really deep into QuickBooks Online, and it's going to be it's two different classes, you know, and each one, QuickBooks Level 1 is 4 classes long, 2 hours each, but 4 classes long. And then QuickBooks Level 2, the first one will be in January. Sorry, the second one will be in February. It'll be 4 classes long and 2 hours each. And we're going to dive really deep into QuickBooks, okay? Starting right from the very, very beginning. How do you set up QuickBooks? What are some of the settings there? So that's why even if you use QuickBooks, but you're like, you know, I'm not a real good expert, and QuickBooks Online just went through a huge change to their website as well. So that makes a big difference too. We're going to look at settings and things like that, just starting right from the beginning, and we're going to build on it with each lesson. So it is most beneficial for someone to attend all 8 lessons, starting back in January and going through all 8 sessions, because it builds upon the other. Although I always have had people that, you know, are they feel they're pretty well experienced, and so they just come to level 2 instead of level 1. And also, when you do see it marketed, it will tell you when you're looking at QuickBooks Level 1, it will tell you what each lesson is going to cover. Like, it gives you like a short, really short sentence or a quick blurb as to what each lesson covers. And then level 2 will have the same thing, bullet points of what each lesson is going to cover. So you might be like, oh yeah, I definitely got to go to level 2 because, well, level 2 is going to deal with inventory, and I want to learn more about inventory. So I got to go to level 2. Okay. So keep an eye out for it. It's not marketed right now. We're literally working on it this week to try to get it out there to the world. So either this week or next week, I'll say it'll be out there. Okay, everybody, have a great day. We will see you back here next month. Bye, everyone.